Hey everybody, welcome to the Fit Rockstar Show. I am Isabelle Turell, IFBB Pro bodybuilder, and I am with the fabulous, beautiful, sensational, impressive Andrea Yeo. How you doing, Angela?
Hey guys. Hey everybody. Thank you so much for having me on. It is the highlight of my month. This is excellent to be featured. Thank you so much.
The highlight of your month. Now, come on.
Yes. Kind of quiet in the Midwest.
Let's be real here. Now, is it cold over there? It's snowing, or is it died down?
Oh my gosh. We just had pretty much the most snow that we've had in decades. So it's starting to melt within the last couple of days, but it was beautiful. Really nice and quiet. Like you got that winter feel. So I loved it. I wasn't even mad.
Okay, so I'm looking at you right now and I'm saying, damn, this girl's in shape. Holy smokes, man. I mean, you know, it's like when I first saw you at the Warrior Games, Luke Tevis show, and I saw you on stage and I was like, oh my God, who is this girl? She's beautiful. Just muscle bellies, or just everything's, you got the clean muscles, just beautiful shape, everything. Just flow, very feminine. You have this exotic look as well. You know, you kind of remind me of, I'm just saying, like a Dana Lynn Bailey kind of type. Plus,
Thank you.
With, I don't know if you know who Alexa Bliss is from the WWE.
I might, if I saw her, I'm sure I'm great with like seeing a person.
You remind me a lot of her, but I was just so impressed with you when I saw you. I said to myself, damn, this girl is going to be something very special in the sport. She has something I have not seen in a long time, and you just have that wow factor. And
I'm ready to step into that. When I saw the pictures afterwards, I was really taken aback because I'd never seen myself like that. Coming into the Warrior Games, that was the first show that I had done since the Arnold in 2018. I didn't diet. I didn't compete. I just basically spent 2 years just eating the house down and lifting like under the gym. It was a really long, intense period of training. And I mean, what you saw, it took me a minute to see, but when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was a shape that I hadn't, it was a different shape, even completely from nationals.
Right.
I had never seen that before. I was extremely proud, but you saw it first.
Your conditioning is incredible. And I know, like right now, you look like you're in very low body fat. So I'm going to ask you, if you can for me, if you care about me this much and love me this much, you will give me the ultimate bicep flex.
Oh my God.
Come on. I mean, look at that. Look at that conditioning. Jesus. It's very streamlined. Look at that. Beautiful. You make these guys look bad, really. You know?
Well, I'm just trying to be me, and I really enjoy being where I'm at because it kind of pulls people up along with you. You know, there's like a little bit of a draft that happens, and if I'm doing well, I bring that back to my entire crew, and I feel like it makes them all better. It makes us all better if I'm doing well.
Well, this is what I love about you.
This is brand new.
Yeah. That's exactly what I love about you, is that you are you, you know? Like, you don't pretend to be, like some of these people in our industry pretend to be whatever. You're just you. You're like, hey, this is me. This is what you get. You know, all your hard work you've done by yourself. I mean, you've customized your diets, not your diets, sorry, your training programs yourself. You know, I know you have someone you work with for your diets and whatnot, but it's just impressive, you know. And I will have to ask you as well, I know your physique, but listen, bodybuilding is speaking your name loud and clear. We need you over in the female bodybuilding land. Do you know how much you would kick ass in a bodybuilding? Let me tell you. Do you know how much money you could be making in bodybuilding, in the Rising Phoenix, the Miss Olympia?
That would be amazing.
No, I am honestly not joking around. I know for a fact, and I will put money on it, $100 on it. Right now, you hear from me first.
That's real money.
That's real money. That you would kick ass and be in the top of the bodybuilding for sure. Like if you went into bodybuilding this year, you'd win your show, whatever show that is you do, personally, I suggest Chicago, Tampa, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Actually, the
that's where I was
Bahamas,
supposed to be
Puerto
this past
Rico
year.
Pro would be good for you to do. Just saying.
What was the last one?
Puerto Rico Pro.
Puerto Rico. We saw that come up on the roster, and that was like, oh my gosh, Puerto Rico. That was actually where we had our honeymoon, and it's just been a place that we wanted to go back to ever since. But there has been a lot of changes in my mental state after the last few months of competition. Just the incredible amount of encouragement, like raw encouragement from people that I don't even know, that don't owe me anything, that have been in this industry for quite some time, that just ever so point blank, it's just like, no, you're bodybuilding, you know? So, and I mean, even in our case at Warrior Games, it was like I hadn't seen it in myself yet. But that was like 5 years of my life. And every day that I'm kind of thinking about this switch, it's like, it's more and more comfortable and more like, what am I doing? You know, like there's still so much more for me to do in this sport. And it was like, oh my gosh, like this, like I only want to get bigger. I want to keep growing. I want to keep finding out more about myself through this sport and accomplishing more. And it was like, again, like that light bulb moment when I'm like, I've been in women's physique for 5 years. That's half a decade.
You're giving these guys a heart attack now when they hear you say that you want to get bigger. That's like their dream, you know? Oh my God, big muscles.
Well, you got to think about, well, what do you really want to do? And like you said, it's like, you appreciate that I'm just being myself. And it's true. Like this hair, this makeup, this style is what I'm doing.
I love it.
When I go to work, like this is how I am. This is how I look. My heart is on my bicep sleeve. And it's when I'm really looking at what I want to do, I don't feel any kind of pressure or like misplaced loyalty to a division or even a sport in general, because I also do the powerlifting. Like if I'm meant to go somewhere and do something, it's like, you just know. And I have not once had something come up in my mind that was like, well, maybe this isn't, you know, like it's been a lot of brainstorming.
So it's also,
you know, and just a ton of influence. And I'm like, you know, like sometimes you need someone to see it on you before you see it in yourself. And you were, my coach said it first, and then you came in at Warrior Games, and it was the most amazing thing that I think anyone's ever said to me. The most amazing moment I've had at a show in years.
I meant every word.
That's how much.
I meant every word of what I said. And like I said, when I first saw you, I was like, Jesus Christ, this girl is going to be something special. Like I said, your look is just crazy, meaning that it's beautiful. You have something different. You're refreshing. You know,
Thank you.
My director wants to know if you're a Virgo.
No, I'm a Cancer Leo cusp, actually.
He gave you the thumbs up. Now, I got a question for you, actually. So I've been following your eating habits. I saw a Ben & Jerry's ice cream, but I think the weirdest thing I saw, which I thought it was cucumbers at first, but your cream of rice with sweet potatoes, berries, and I thought it was cucumbers, but it's jalapenos.
Oh, wow. That must have been a long time ago.
Well, wait a minute. Who puts jalapenos inside their cream of rice?
I honestly cannot recall that particular one.
Oh my God.
I don't, you know, sometimes I guess you're scraping the bottom of the refrigerator to make.
No, you really, no, you are a trooper, man. You're a hardcore dieter. You can see it in your muscles, how you look. Like I said, you have that very beautiful, clean look, you know, to the muscle.
Thank you.
Some of these women don't really have that. And I'm not trying to knock anybody down, but I'm just calling it as I see it, which is why, again, I'm just saying to you, women's bodybuilding has your name all over it. I'm telling you.
Well, another reason.
I'm telling you, you would have these girls shaking in their boots, or in their suits, I should say, in this case.
Suits.
Yes. Trust me on this, honey.
That's what I'm trying to say is like there's the things that have been, the energy that's been coming my way, so positive towards bodybuilding. It's like, how much does the universe have to tell you before it's like, it wasn't even a resistance for me. It was like, it's like, I came back. I took those 2 years off for a reason. It wasn't like, oh, I'm out, I'm back in. It was never like that. It's like, I need to grow. I'm taking this time off. I'm going down. And then when I come back, it's going to be a completely different person. That's why I don't want to rush my pro debut.
No, I don't.
I don't think I could live with myself if I, went through all of this prep, basically stayed in prep and didn't change between, my last show and my very first professional stage. Like, I don't think I can live with that. So there's some growing that's going to happen, but it's like, with the energy that's been coming my way, you cannot ignore, the truth when people are speaking to you and they're looking you dead in your eye and they're telling you something about yourself. No one has to stop and say any of this,
right.
But they do, but they did. And it's guidance, like it's
the universe is speaking to you.
People matter.
Yes, they do. Yeah. The universe is speaking to you in loud volumes, I should say.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. So you actually trained at David Barton's gym in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
I am so freaking jealous of you because that looks like a nightclub from the pictures I've seen.
I was there once. Back. I'm in Ohio. I'm in the Midwest.
Right.
So going to
Toledo,
to that
right?
gym, yeah, it was luxurious. We're talking like brown leather, everything, like lighting, mood, like. Oh my gosh, that was a great spot. That was when I was getting ready for my first world championship. That was a great place.
I trained in the David Barton gym in New York, the Limelight. It's a church. But here's the problem I had with that. It was $50. $50 for a one-day membership.
Yeah.
I about crap my pants when I paid that money, $50. I mean, that's a freaking ripoff,
Is this legal?
Well, I went ahead and paid it anyway, but it's like it's a church, so it was really cool setting. But so you also got to train with John Meadows here. I saw a while back, which I love John.
Just that once, yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy, man. The Donut King.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
Oh, he's amazing. I mean, he's also from my neck of the woods, which makes me feel great. Might be planning a trip to go down and see him and kind of see what he thinks. Like, I got him in such a good spot, like I've got this time, I've got, an opportunity. I'm able to see what my body is going to do next. I don't have any pressure of competing this year. I'm not calling it off the table, but there's no set plans. And that's wonderful for me right now.
So I want people to know how driven you are. So you actually started as a figure competitor. Right?
Yes, yes. My first 3 shows I did completely on my own. Like, I didn't even have a gym. Like, I did it all from the back room of my house. I didn't have a diet coach. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a prep coach. I did talk to a lot of people online. So, I mean, not to say that I didn't have help and advice, but those were like 6 years that I did on my own from home.
You're bound for greatness. No matter, even if, listen, I know I keep on trying to get you into bodybuilding, but whatever you choose to do, I mean, I don't care. Whatever you touch, it turns to gold. Do you know that? I just want to tell you that right now. This is true.
My heart is in it. That is what I think has been behind this entire thing is like, I've made honest decisions across the board. No one ever told me that what I was trying to do was too big. Like, my family was always behind me. Like, even though I was doing it a lot on my own at first, especially, it was like always positive. Like, I really come from like a positive place. I want to pull people with me, and I don't know, like, this is what's meant to keep me alive. Right. and keep me finding out more about myself. Like, there's nothing in my world that's changed me as much as this has, as nothing is more precious to me than this. Like, I am loyal. And that's why there might be that touch of gold, is because like my loyalty is like unbreakable.
So if you went into bodybuilding, let's just say, how much more weight or size do you think you would need? I don't think you need much at all.
See, that's something that I don't know. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't feel like I know anything. Like, even though I've been in this sport for so long.
Oh my God, you know a lot more than most people.
Who should I talk to? Like, I don't know. Maybe we should talk. like what's a good size? Where do I stand? Like, I haven't even really done any comparisons, because I'm just trying to do me. But at the same time, I'm like, where do I stand? What do I need to do? What kind of time is that going to take? Like, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Well,
I mean, I would love to see myself. I've never been 160 pounds. I'd like to look like this at like 160. That would be cool.
You would look amazing at 160.
That would be cool.
You would be a powerhouse at 160.
It'd be insane.
Well, see,
I know that's kind of like the goal way off, but I mean,
what I like about you too is you have a very tiny waist. You have that tiny waist.
Wow.
You've got that great X. Your muscles, again, I know I keep on saying this all over the place, but they're so clean. Like, you can tell that you take very good care of your body, you know. Plus, I mean, your routines are incredible. How much time do you spend on those things? I mean, that must take like what, a few months?
Maddening.
Yeah.
I feel so strongly about the artistic side and the expression and that moment, trying to like take people, I have one shot to like take people with me and make them feel something. Like, if I can do that, I feel like then it's a successful moment. That was extremely hard. I think I did relatively close to the same routine for both Warrior Games and Nationals. I just loved it.
Let me tell you, the crowd,
a little extra at Nationals.
When you were posing at Nationals, that crowd.
It took me a while to land on it and then actually practice it. I don't know what had come over me, but it was 6 weeks out from Warrior Games, and I was still, it was like this one day I went in and I'm like, I'm not leaving until this is done. And finally something opened up and it just flowed. And I'm like, this is this point. This is what I'm going to do next. And I caught it all on video, and I was just, oh my gosh, it was like a big moment.
The crowd went wild when you were up there posing at Nationals. They were like, oh, wow. Oh my God. Let me tell you,
I can't remember, but
you are the hottest thing on the internet right now. Do you realize that? You are the hottest talk on the internet.
This is news. This is news.
Well, newsflash, you're it. You're the next best thing in our sport, I think, in my opinion.
I won't let that down.
Oh, please.
I'm going to take that and run with it.
Like I said, you're such a 100%. Breath of fresh air for our industry. You have no idea. That's why I said when I saw you, I'm like, who is this girl? We need her in bodybuilding right now, you know?
That was a real moment, because I remember seeing you and I was like, she doesn't look like anybody else in here. And I wanted to introduce myself, and I was like, just kind of waiting for the right time. And then you came up to me and I was like, this was meant to happen. Like, I was either going to talk to you or you were going to talk to me or something. Because I was like, it was, you know, that
yeah, it just happened. It's like we just bumped into each other.
Something was going to change, and it absolutely did. Now, I'm so grateful.
How many times have you beat up your husband over the dieting? Because you've been together for what, 15, 14 years?
We got together in 2005, and we've been married since 2009.
Aww.
He is amazing.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude.
He's such a chill person in my corner. I'm not the kind of person that's like, my carbs are low, I'm going to take it out on you. I think that's weak. I don't like the jokes. I don't even like people being like, oh, you hangry, or, you know, I just think that's really mentally weak to, you know, be on a diet and take it. I'm more of an internalizing kind of person. So how many times did I take it out on myself is a better question.
So we want to know, is your husband a Sagittarius?
He's a Scorpio.
He's a Scorpio. Wrong again. Yeah,
he's amazing. He
a cool dude.
Really has supported everything I've done in this. I mean, like if I, like he on his end, he would do like the flights and the hotel, and, you know, like kind of like managing that end so that I could just kind of go forward and train. And I mean, even when we had finished Warrior Games, I didn't even know I was going to do nationals. This whole year turned out completely different than it was supposed to. Before we'd left New Orleans, I was like, I think we should do it. And in classic Jamie fashion, he's like, well, good, because I booked the hotel 3 weeks ago.
He's so sweet.
My mind was blown, because I'm like, how did you even know?
Aww.
How could he like see that far in the future that I was going to do well, and that the opportunity was going to be there? And it was like already planned ahead, this whole thing. You can't even make this up.
What's interesting about all of this is you would not be in bodybuilding if it wasn't for an incident that happened in 2008, correct? You would not be doing what you're doing. False. I'm wrong.
False.
Oh, darn it.
I got interested in 2006.
2006.
But when I was recovering, like it was there for me. It gave me something to do. Like I was the kind of person that they're like, we're going to leave this, rehab room unlocked for you. It was the worst. He and I almost died together. I don't know a couple can really say that.
Yeah.
Like, we're so tight, but we also have a really good contrast on things.
Mm-hmm.
And even though that was many years ago, like, I know what it's like.
Well,
I know what it's like to be completely immobilized. My jaw was wired shut, among other things, so I couldn't even eat. It was, so once I kind of recovered from that, I mean, there was a pretty deep depression that happened through. Even though we were married in 2009, we were not okay.
Sure.
We were great together, but we were not okay, because this was so bad, so bad that it took, up until end of 2009, 2010, I really started getting serious.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the base work, and I knew what I wanted, and I would just pour over magazines, pour over books, like highlight. I wasn't on the internet. So like these books were just like worn and highlighted and notes in over here, and I would just study.
So
then it came to work.
So I have a couple of fan questions for you.
Oh, cool.
All right. So they're kind of silly, but one of the people wanted to ask was, what is the most challenging temptation during prep, and how do you deal with it?
Okay, that's a good one. I would say the most challenging thing in prep is breaking from your schedule, because you have no flexibility. You got to be here, do this, work, train, cardio, meal. There is no flexibility. So the desire to maybe break from that and maybe do something later, or do something now instead, or spend a little bit more time here when you absolutely have a cutoff is, that's what I think is most hard to hold on to. Not necessarily food, but flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
How I deal with that. I try to keep some light things in the day, like just be looking forward to the next thing instead of dreading it. I've been terrible with scheduling my own rest in the past, so I'm working on that. But making sure that there was a time that I could have flexibility was like not negotiable. I had to make sure that there was at least one day in the week where I could do things in any order or not have an order, so that I could just keep a little bit of chaos in my life.
Oh yeah, I have a little bit of chaos.
But everything else, that's the hardest part.
Speaking of, what is your infatuation with cemeteries? So after the Warrior Games, I was seeing all these pictures of cemeteries and you doing all this wild and crazy type poses, which I love, because I have to say, you are quite the artist. Your pictures, the way you guys film and capture your images, it's beautiful. Plus, I'm very jealous of you, extremely, not only because you train at the Barton Gym in Miami, but I've always wanted to have my own custom fangs. So I saw your fangs.
I know
those fangs are kick ass.
Thank you. I actually have 2 pairs. One of them I had made by a dedicated artist who identifies a vampire. He was that was at one of our second New Orleans trip. So those were custom made with real dental material. They fit like a glove. They're amazing. And then I have that second pair that's like sterling silver. I can send you the link. They're a great company.
Is it too much to ask if you can put on your fangs for us?
Let me see.
If you can.
2 seconds.
I like Angela. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Oh, God, that is so badass. Look at that, man. I am so jealous, man. Yeah, that's sick. Love it.
It's awesome.
Man, that just makes me jealous. I saw that and I was like, damn, this girl. I want me a pair of that.
The other ones are perfect for speaking, but
well, I saw when you had got those. Those are the ones you had made while you were in New Orleans, right?
The other ones, the ones that look like real teeth, were the ones made in.
Well,
New
I tried to
Orleans.
see if that guy can make me a pair, but it looked like he wasn't taking any more orders.
That's surprising. Well, I mean, I went to see him in person, so it was pretty cool. Like, we'd go into this back alley and up these stairs and up into this like little kind of like studio. It was pretty cool. And I mean, he loves what he does because it makes the person feel more like themselves. You know, whether you think it's freaky or identify as like whatever. But to me, when I had them made and I saw myself in them, it's like when you put on like the best clothes and you're like, man, that is so me. Like I feel really good.
I have a thing for vampires and werewolves. So those are like my two, you know. So I always wanted a pair of fangs. I have a collection of contacts. So I do a lot of cosplay type stuff.
See, that's what I wanted. Yeah. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Jeez.
Just a little bit of edge, just like have something to have fun. Like,
you got to have fun.
Yeah, the cemetery tours, that is definitely one of the things that I do. For me, it's like a nature walk. It's like, that's like my time to be peaceful. It's no disrespect to the dead at all, like not in any way whatsoever. But for me, it's like, I feel grounded. Like there's a few in my city where it's like, I can just detour, take a break, center. If you're there, you're thinking about what's really important in life.
Right.
You really can't be distracted as to, time is short.
I have a thing for cemeteries too. So I have a question. Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise in Interview with the Vampire?
Oh my gosh.
I'm Tom
probably
Cruise.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. I love it. He was hot. He was hot.
That's an answer.
I like Lestat. Lestat's my guy.
Yes.
So I wanted to know something that interests me because I've done the same thing myself. You actually went all the way to California to compete because you were so determined.
Several times.
Yeah. All the way
13,
from
14,
Toledo.
15.
Wow. My first national level show, I flew from Orlando to LA so I can compete. Because you just have that mindset, which I want to ask you something. What is your mindset? You're very strong and powerful, and I could tell you're driven, you're a go-getter, but tell me about your mindset.
That's deeply convoluted and probably still in development. When it comes from like a really deep place of self, it was like when I met Oksana Grishina the first time. I had run into her basically, and it was like I could have asked this woman any question on how to do what she does, and I just looked at her and I'm like, if you love it, you will find a way. And I never had another question.
Did you meet her husband?
I'm sorry?
Did you meet her husband?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, right at the Olympia, they were both together catching an Uber. So that was pretty cool. That was the last time I got to see her. But
he's awesome. They both are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legends.
I flew to Cali to train with her. Yeah, she's amazing. Wow. Both of you are. So you both have that similar, because you're both personable people. It's like...
she's so nice.
She is very nice. And so are you. That's what I like about you, because you're all for the fans as well. It's like when I asked you about the front bicep shot, you wasn't like, hey, here you go, guys.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a little shy, and then you're like, well, what the hell?
No, you know what? When I saw you at the Olympia, so last year's Olympia was the first experience for you, correct?
The first Olympia I've ever been to was 2020, yeah.
So I'm seeing you with your husband. You're walking around like you're a celebrity. Taking
was
pictures
nuts.
everywhere.
It was nuts.
I loved it.
It was great.
You were so
I
happy
mean,
and thrilled.
yeah.
You know, I
Oh,
can see
that
it.
was my victory lap. And I honestly would not have been there if you hadn't been like, you should go. Are you going? And it wasn't even like for any reason. You're just like, you should just go. And I'm like, you know what? I've saved all this money on stuff that, didn't work out over the year because it was so nuts. I'm like, we have to go. I literally decided 2 weeks from the Olympia that we were going. And it was like, oh my gosh, it was one of the best decisions. We didn't have to compete. I was still in great shape. And it was just like, we just got to go and see and support and support people.
Yeah.
That was what it was. I got to just be there and support and be a fan. And actually see women's bodybuilding come back to the stage.
Wasn't that amazing?
That what was
that
most
was
important.
Great, yes.
I was so proud of them.
That was a huge highlight for me. They did a great job. All those women look beautiful. All of them are champions. And then Big
Dead
Ramy
serious.
winning was a huge, like, oh my God. That was insane. Yeah, Jake Wood and the whole entire Olympia team did an excellent job with setting that up.
So respectful.
4.5 weeks, yes. Now, listen here, young lady. All right? I can predict right now we will see you on the Olympia stage this year.
Oh my gosh.
Hell yes. Honey, listen, I'm going to say this right now. You have everything it takes to be a Miss Olympia, whether it's physique, whether it's bodybuilding. You have that. I see it in you. I truly do. And I'm not saying that just to say it. When I see something special in somebody, I'm going to call them out. Now, I got a serious question for you. You ready? Do you like pickles?
The wind up. Yes.
Okay, good question. Good answer. No, but on all seriousness, yeah, seriously, I do see as a Miss Olympia. I really strongly hold that to the T because you just have what it takes. You just really do.
The whole point of this is like getting to that next mental level. I and everything has been happening for a reason thus far. The time growing, the way that 2020 worked out, still being able to go to the Olympia because that was my plan, was to be at the Chicago Pro as a warm up show / however that was going to turn out, and then I was going to be I was signed up for the Amateur Olympia because I wanted it in my life. I wasn't like going to win. I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want in my life? And that was supposed to be this past year. And then to end up not being able to go and then being able to go in the end as a fan, as a professional athlete, just it all blew my mind. And how am I going to unlock the next level in my mind? Like bodybuilding is deeply psychological.
Absolutely.
And it changes people. I want to find out what I need to do to be this next self, like that. Maybe that's the Olympia. I mean, I'm really invested.
So being a top athlete as you are, plus you're one of the Toledo's best personal trainers, what I've seen, what is your biggest pet peeves in the gym that people do that you just cannot stand? It just drives you freaking nuts.
Okay, I've got two. If you come in smelling like cigarette smoke, I hate that.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you've been smoking all day and you just come into the gym and your clothes are covered with cigarette smoke, I don't like that. Or if like someone is yawning obnoxiously, I'm like, man, we all had a hard day. Knock it off. Pull your crap together. Otherwise, sometimes I'll see weird things people do, but honestly, sometimes they work.
Yeah.
So I try not to judge people, or if I see something, like you just gotta giggle once in a while. But other than that, I just let people be.
One time, again, this is back in my younger days. One time, there was a guy who didn't really smell very well. Every time I'd be in the gym, he just had this odor. It's like Pigpen. If you know Pigpen from Peanuts, he had this big cloud of, smell. Anyway, I would Febreze him. I would take Febreze and I'd spray him with it.
Wow, that's a message.
Yeah, he didn't get the message still, unfortunately. But let me ask you, what's the weirdest gym encounter that you've ever had, or encountered while training, or just seen?
Joe Weider's Olympia here in Orlando, Florida. A little bit strange coming out of Las Vegas for all of those years.
Good evening, and welcome to the event that nearly never happened.
There's been an absence of a particular group of people on this stage that are back tonight. Tonight I'm here to say, welcome back to Miss Olympia.
Weirdest.
Just something you're like, oh my God,
usually,
what the F?
Oh gosh.
Most
well,
awkward gym encounter.
Yeah, it's usually when you're like, I'm pretty nice to people. I try to give people time of day if they have a question, whatnot. But if you just kind of stand there after the question is answered and you just kind of, you're watching me, you're looking at me, and the conversation's pretty much over, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna get back to my reps, and you're still kind of standing there. It's like, I figured that conversation was over, but I don't know.
He's admiring you, poor guy or poor person.
Or person.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I try to be approachable, I mean, especially with having been in the local newspaper and being on the news, around the holidays, like people were home.
I saw yeah.
Everybody saw that, and people would just stop me out in the grocery store parking lot, and they'd be like, "We're proud of you." I'm not gonna brush people off.
Absolutely, right.
They took the time out of their day to be like, "That's the girl. She's amazing."
And you are amazing.
Such as me.
So, I know you have a lot of fans. What is the weirdest request you've ever gotten from a fan?
What was that?
What's the weirdest request you ever gotten from a fan? Like a question that they've asked you, or something off key. You're like, I can't believe you even asked me that.
Well, I just got the question, like, if I was working out at a gym and I think they just saw something on Instagram and they're like, is all that equipment yours?
Okay.
No, it's not all mine. So,
right.
You just get stuff like that where you're like, I think you're just trying to make conversation, which is cool. You got to start somewhere. But I don't own it.
Tell these little boys your lifts, because you're pretty damn strong as a power lifter.
Oh, gosh. Well, let's see. My best deadlift is 405. I pulled that back when I was much heavier. And then again, pretty much right between Warrior Games and Nationals. So I pulled that at like 135 pounds. So 405 at 135. Best bench is 285. Best competition regulation bench most recently is 230. Best squat of all time, 380.
Jesus.
Classic raw.
That's amazing, girl.
So I plan on beating that somewhere in this next 6 to 8 months, hopefully. I really prep was great. Things were really rolling, and I continued to get stronger through prep, but the aftermath was really hard. So it's a process pulling back out of prep and back into strength sports, which I never gave up. I mean, all the way through prep, I was still in the powerlifting gym on the weekends, getting up at 4:30 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday to make sure that I'm with the team that really helped build what you see now. Like those guys, that gym really helped change me. So I never really gave up lifting heavy, and I think it was maybe like 2 weeks out.
That's why you have such a beautiful foundation as you do. Now, let's go back to the 2020 Nationals. So I got to ask, what was it like shooting with the best photographer in the world, Mr. J.M. Mannion?
Oh gosh, that was amazing. You
Batman
find yourself in these positions and around these people, and you're like, my God, this is really cool. It's like an honor. It's a reward. And they were so nice. you know, you're not sure if things are going to be really, like regimented, but everything was just flexible and flowed. And, they're just treating you like the professional that you are, and just really respectful. And just being in that group was like, wow.
And you recently
I
got
felt like I belong there.
You definitely belong there. Now you're in the IFBB. So again, congratulations for that. And I saw that you got your trophy, thanks to Gary Udit.
Yes, yes, that was a little bit of a project, but hang on, let me grab it. It was a long wait, but
there she is.
I was so stoked that they took the time to basically remake it twice.
Yeah.
The first one that they were going to resend was damaged, so they had to do it again.
Wow.
But there was like never even a problem with that. So this one means a lot. I don't really fawn over my stuff or dust my trophies daily, but that one has been on a journey.
Yeah, well, thank God for Gary
Where the original is, no one's going to know.
Right. Well, listen, I want to ask you, is there anything you want to tell your fans, anything motivating you want to say before we end it? And also, if you want to give them your Instagram, your website, Facebook, all that great stuff.
Well, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm shocker, IFBB_Pro_Yeo, spelled YEO. You can basically find my websites, my training, anything else on that in the links. So you can find everything you might want from there. I don't know, just work with your integrity. I mean, I'm always open for questions and advice and whatnot. People have been so open with me, like getting started the way that I did. So having the help and the guidance and the encouragement that I've had, like, I just want to say thank you. I mean, that is like really at the core. It's just my gratitude.
Well, last question I want to ask you is, if you was a superhero, who would it be?
Oh, wow. There was kind of a comic book called Kabuki.
Kabuki.
And if you kind of look into that, you probably see a pretty good reflection of me.
Okay. Well, listen, darling, I really appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. I want to see you on stage this year. I think that you will definitely win, kick ass. We will see you on the Olympia stage. This is my prediction. You're amazing. Thank you for being such a great friend. Thank you for also calling me out in the interview with AJ.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
You got to understand the impression and that was just so real. I will never forget it.
Well, thank you, honey. And listen, I appreciate you very much. Have a wonderful day, week, all that good stuff. And,
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Please be in touch. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Bye.